In the small towns and big cities of Burkina Faso, people were tired of talking about roads. Every year, new promises were made. "We will fix the roads," the government would say. "We are working with top companies from France and America," they added. But the people were not blind. They could see the truth with their own eyes. The roads were still broken, dusty, and full of holes. In the rainy season, they became rivers of mud. Cars and trucks got stuck for hours. Pregnant women on their way to hospitals had to turn back. Farmers could not carry their yams, tomatoes, and maize to the markets. Children missed school because the roads were too bad to walk or ride bicycles. During the dry season, it was just as bad. The roads became powdery. Dust filled the air. People covered their faces with cloth to breathe. Motorbikes slipped on loose stones. Ambulances moved too slowly to save lives. The worst part? This had been happening for years. Big construction companies from France and America were hired to fix the roads. These companies brought in expensive machines, foreign engineers, and long project plans. They came with briefcases and wore shiny shoes. They signed papers and held press conferences. "We will finish the road in 12 months, they would say with confidence. But 12 months became 18 months. Then 2 years. Some roads were never finished. Others were built but fell apart after just one rainy season. People were angry. "Why are we spending millions of dollars on roads that don't last?" the people asked. Nobody had clear answers. In some villages, the youth began to take photos of the broken roads and post them online. They tagged government officials. They tagged the companies. But nothing changed. Some said, "Maybe we don't have the skill." Others said, "We don't have the machines." But a few brave voices began to whisper, "What if this is not about skill? What if this is about control?" The whispers grew louder. People remembered how in the past, African nations always looked outside for help. For roads, schools, water, or electricity, they ran to France, America, or the World Bank. But help often came with conditions. Contracts were signed in foreign languages. Decisions were made in offices far away from the red soil of Burkina Faso. Then, in the middle of this confusion, a young man named Captain Ibrahim Traoré came to power. He was not a typical leader. He didn't wear long suits or speak in riddles. He was a soldier, yes, but more than that, he was a listener. He didn't send people to inspect the roads. He went himself. He rode in old jeeps to villages, walked through dusty towns, and talked to real people. Market women, farmers, drivers, teachers, they all told him the same thing. "Our roads are killing us. Please, we need help." Ibrahim Traoré listened. He did not promise anything right away. He kept quiet. He kept thinking. One day, after visiting 3 villages and seeing trucks stuck in deep mud, he sat on a broken bench and looked around. Children were walking barefoot through water. Old men were pushing motorbikes that could not start. His heart became heavy. That night, as he returned to Ouagadougou, he stayed awake for hours. He was no longer asking, "What is the problem?" Now, he was asking, "What can we do for ourselves?" That question marked the beginning of something new. Because sometimes, a broken road is not just a path full of holes. Sometimes, a broken road is the voice of a nation crying, "We are ready to build." After visiting many towns and villages, Captain Ibrahim Traoré had seen enough. His heart was full. His boots were muddy. His clothes were dusty. But he had a clear plan in his mind. The people of Burkina Faso had suffered for too long. The roads were not just bad, they were dangerous, slow, and painful. People were tired of hearing big grammar and empty promises. They wanted action. One morning, Ibrahim Traoré called a special meeting in Ouagadougou, the capital city. In the room were ministers, top engineers, and road contractors, including some foreigners from France and America. Cameras were rolling. The press was there. Everyone expected another long talk. But Traoré went straight to the point. He stood up and said, "Enough is enough. For too long, we have trusted foreign companies to build our roads. But what have we gained? Broken promises. Half-finished projects. Roads that fall apart in one rainy season. From today, we are changing direction." The room became very quiet. Traoré continued, "I have decided to end all road construction contracts with foreign companies from France, America, or anywhere else. From today, the people of Burkina Faso will build their own roads, with their own hands." Some people clapped. Others looked shocked. The foreign contractors whispered to each other. One French engineer raised his hand and asked, "But sir, who will build the roads? Do your people have the skills?" Traoré looked at him and smiled. "Yes, we do. We have trained engineers. We have strong youth. We have brains. We only need the chance. And now, they will get it." Some ministers were worried. "What about the machines?" they asked. "We will get them," Traoré replied. "Even if we buy old ones and repair them, we will make it work." Others asked, "What if the roads fail?" He answered, "If they fail, at least we failed trying by ourselves. But I believe they won't fail." That day, Traoré's words went viral. On the radio, on social media, and in the streets, people were talking. Some didn't believe it. "Ah, this is too bold," they said. "He will change his mind soon." But Traoré didn't change his mind. He wrote letters to cancel foreign road deals. He met with local engineers and builders. He told his finance team to stop sending money abroad for road projects. "Keep the money here," he said. "Let it work for our people." The foreign companies were angry. They sent formal complaints. Some threatened to take Burkina Faso to court. A few diplomats from Europe asked to meet with Traoré. They told him, "You need us. Your country is too poor to do this alone." But Traoré stood firm. "No one will build our future for us. Not Paris. Not Washington. We must build it ourselves." In the months that followed, people watched closely. Would this young captain succeed? Or would he fail like others before him? One thing was clear, he had made a bold decision. And bold decisions are like opening a new road. You don't always see the end, but you must take the first step. Burkina Faso was ready to take that step. And this time, it would walk on a road built by its own people. After cutting ties with the foreign road companies, Captain Ibrahim Traoré did not sit back. He knew talk alone could not build roads. He needed action, fast, smart, and local. So, he called a small meeting with some trusted engineers, builders, and youth leaders. They sat around a simple table in a government office. No foreign suits, no big titles. Just minds ready to work. Traoré said to them, "We are done begging outsiders. We must build our own roads. But we need a team, a strong, clean, and local team. We will start a company that belongs to the people, and it will be led by the people." That day, Burkina Builders was born. It was not a private company owned by rich men. It was a national project, 100% owned by the people of Burkina Faso. The goal was simple: build roads for the people, by the people. Traoré gave the team his full support. He told the finance ministry to release funds for equipment. He ordered the military to provide old trucks and machines they were not using. He asked retired builders and engineers to come out of retirement to train the youth. "Let the knowledge stay in the country," he said. "Let it grow." Young people across the country were excited. Many had studied engineering, welding, carpentry, and mechanics, but had no jobs. Now, they were needed. They lined up to join Burkina Builders. Women joined too. Some drove trucks. Others worked in planning offices, accounting, and concrete mixing teams. In Burkina Builders, everyone had a role. The first big test came when they were asked to build a 60-kilometer road connecting two key towns in the north. In the past, this road took months to travel during the rainy season. Trucks got stuck. Farmers lost their goods. It was a road full of pain. Burkina Builders took up the challenge. They didn't have the most modern machines. They didn't have flashy offices. But they had heart. They worked day and night, learning, sweating, and pushing forward. Old experts guided the younger ones. Mechanics fixed broken trucks with local parts. Villagers brought food and water for the workers. Even school children came by after class to cheer them on. The foreign media laughed at first. Some reports said, they cannot do it. They have no experience. Others called it the waste of time. But in just 5 months, the road was done. Not only was it finished, it was strong. It had proper drainage. It was smooth. And it was built using mostly local materials and full local labor. When the road opened, people danced in the streets. Drummers came out. Motorbikes rode freely. Old men said prayers. Mothers cried with joy. One woman shouted, "This is not just a road, this is our pride." Ibrahim Traoré visited the site with his team. He did not give a long speech. He looked at the road, smiled, and said, "This is just the beginning." The news spread across Africa. Young people in Ghana, Mali, Niger, and even Congo sent messages saying, "We want this too." Some African leaders quietly called Traoré's office to ask how they did it. Burkina Builders continued working. More roads were planned. More people were trained. It was not perfect, there were still challenges, but the spirit had changed. Burkina Faso had done something great. Not just by building a road, but by believing in itself. The road built by Burkina Builders was just the beginning. It was more than a connection between two towns, it became a symbol. A symbol of hope. A symbol of pride. A symbol of what Africa can do when it believes in itself. After the success of the first road, Captain Ibrahim Traoré didn't stop. He ordered more roads to be built, roads that connected markets, schools, health centers, and farms. Each project brought new jobs, new training, and new opportunities. Burkina Builders became a household name. On the streets, people no longer said, "When will they fix the road?" They now said, "When will Burkina Builders reach our town?" As more roads were completed, something else began to happen, something even bigger than roads. People's minds started to change. For years, many Africans had believed that they could not do big things without help from the outside. They believed that if it didn't come from Europe or America, it couldn't be good enough. But now, here were roads, bridges, and highways built with African hands, strong, clean, and lasting. The foreign companies that once held all the contracts were gone. They watched from afar as the people of Burkina Faso proved them wrong. Some foreign media stopped talking. Others tried to give excuses. But the truth was clear. Burkina Faso had taken its destiny into its own hands. Other African countries began to pay attention. Leaders from Mali, Niger, Chad, and Guinea sent teams to study how Burkina Builders worked. Some even invited the engineers to help train their own local workers. Traoré welcomed this. He said, "Let the knowledge move across borders. What we build here can help build Africa." Back home, something else powerful was happening. The youth, who used to dream only of leaving the country for a better life abroad, were changing their minds. Now, they wanted to stay and build. They saw value in civil engineering, road construction, mechanics, and manual work. Even in schools, teachers began to tell new stories. They no longer said, "If you don't do well, you'll end up carrying cement." Instead, they said, "Engineers built this road. Maybe you will build the next one." That mindset shift, from shame to pride, was one of the biggest successes of all. Of course, there were still problems. Some machines broke down. Some projects took longer than expected. Some roads needed repairs after a few months. But the difference now was ownership. The people didn't complain like before. They said, "Let's fix it." Because it was theirs. Foreign powers noticed the change and weren't happy. Some quietly pulled aid. Some pressured banks to stop loans. But Burkina Faso had already crossed a line. The people had tasted self-reliance, and they would never go back. One day, at a youth conference in Ouagadougou, a young student asked Traoré, "Sir, do you think Africa can ever be fully free?" He stood up, looked at the crowd, and replied, "Freedom does not begin with money. It begins with belief. We believed we could build our own roads. Now, we drive on them. We believed we could train our own people. Now they are working across the country. Freedom is not given. It is built, step by step, just like our roads." The crowd clapped for minutes. Some had tears in their eyes. Years later, when people looked back, they didn't just talk about the roads or machines. They talked about a time when one country stood up, made a bold choice, and walked a new path. A path made of red soil, black hands, and golden hearts. A path that said, "Africa can rise if we build it ourselves." If you believe Africa can rise by building with its own hands, then don't just watch, be part of the movement. Have a check mark, hit the like button to support African-made solutions. Have a check mark, subscribe so you never miss powerful stories like this. Have a check mark, share this video with your friends, family, and anyone who still doubts what Africans can do for themselves. Speech balloon, and in the comments, tell us. Do you think more African countries should follow what Ibrahim Traoré did? This is not just a story, it's a new chapter for Africa. Let's walk this road together.